It seems I owe this game an apology.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I see your lips moving, but there's a delay. Takes a long time for the sound to get this far. Yeah.
So I played this game for the first time on stream, and in the midst of me figuring out how this game works and how this game is, I ended up getting hooked. And I figured I'd make this video for people like me who wanted to play based off of the Game of the Year award, or they just want to play D&D because they saw Stranger Things and wanted to join the club. Now hold on. Big major warning. Don't think because you downloaded the 97 gigabyte ready to play situation that you'll actually be ready to play, because it'll definitely hit you with a 2K and start you all the way back to the beginning because the game hasn't downloaded. So just let it finish so you can play the game. All right, let's start with the basics. This is a CRPG, so it's going to look different than how most RPGs are played on console, but the integration between CRPG and controllers are amazing. You start off on an alien ship and you have to get out. Simple. But the controls aren't your average controls. Yes, you can use the left stick to go around and do things, but to fight, jump are pretty much done through a series of actions that you have to hold down R1 to do. So let's talk about these categories. Combat. This is a different animal within itself. I'm so glad that they turned it into a turn-based game instead of me just randomly fighting all at once. So depending on who is in your party determines how many turns you get. But alas, you can only have 4 people in your party. I know. But each turn is randomized and you can easily see whose turn it is by the UI up at the top. With each turn, you're allowed a certain distance that you can move, and instead of rolling the dice, you actually get to fight. It automatically rolls the dice for you to determine your damage. You might get 1 damage and you might get 10 damage. It's really a randomized roll of the dice. But thankfully, you don't have to roll the dice every time. It's really just you click your target, you click the action, and it automatically, you hear dice rolling, but you automatically just hit. You could miss, you could not miss. It actually reminds me of an updated game called Shining Force. I don't know if anybody is a Sega fan in here, but Sega had a Dungeons and Dragons style like game called Shining Force. They had 2 series of it, Shining Force 1 and Shining Force 2, and it was really turn-based, but there was no rolling of the dice or anything like that. It's just randomized, but each turn was randomized, so you never knew whose turn it was and whose turn it wasn't. Now, the good thing about this game and its combat system is you not only can do regular actions, but you can also do bonus actions as well. I can do 2 actions in 1 turn, so I can jump and fight, I can dash and fight, or I can fight and shoot magic, whatever I want to do, but it's all done through your actions. Now, what I suggest you do in the combat is actually use different characters. Don't just favor your character. Usually in RPGs, you only get 1 character that you can use, but if you're in a party, you can use all the character and all of their abilities. So which means I can start off with my created character, but then I can also use anybody in my party to lead the group. And depending on what their knowledge is determines your success rate in whatever you're trying to do. Which leads me to my next point, rolling of the dice. Although you don't have it in the combat abilities, you do have it in certain abilities when it comes to conversation. This being persuasion, intimidation, deception, so on and so forth. The difficulty level is shown up at the top, whether it be 5, 10, whatever the level is, and you have to roll the dice along with some bonus points. You have to roll the dice and you have to reach that number or height in order to make a success. And this is on a 20-sided die. Now you can customize the die to make it either gray or blue, whatever your decision is. Now, like I said before, you can make it higher by your bonus abilities. Certain abilities that you started off with in the character customization determines whether you can use your intelligence to increase the die, use your wisdom to increase the die, and so on and so forth. So let me break it down. Let's say your difficulty level is a 5 and you hit a 3, but your wisdom is at plus 1 and your intelligence is +3. So after you rolled the 3, +1 makes 4, and then +3 makes 7. So now you have succeeded in the roll. But if there is negative intelligence or negative anything, it sucks. And if you do fail in the roll of the dice, you could end up killing someone or you're just in a battle. Next point is choice-based missions. Each quest is entirely up to you, which means when you start a mission, you don't necessarily have to finish that mission. This is an exploration game first, which means you can explore and do different things to either increase yourself or decrease yourself or do whatever you want in order to finish these missions. Let's say the mission that you're trying to defeat is a level 5 and you decide, hey, I'm just at level 2, let me go upgrade and do some other missions before I do this mission. You can actually do that. This is all in Act 1. So if you go to Act 2, there's no way that you can go back to Act 1. So use your decisions wisely. My next point is party expansion. Now you can actually add certain characters that are in the game, but I'm assuming they have to be like you with a tadpole in your head. Ew. But you have the choice in the dialogue to either sweet talk them or the choice to be rude and abandon them. And you can also be in your feelings and part ways with them after you joined with said party. The choice is yours. Character creation. Now this is where your mind can go haywire. You can do the basics by either choosing somebody that's actually in a role already, or you can actually customize your own created character and pick up the people that are in the roles along the way. You can get as basic as you want and you can get as naughty as you want. And I wasn't prepared at all. But you can choose your race of characters. There are 12 races, and then there's also some sub races that go along with it. Do the best you can at making the best you can. And last and certainly not least, manual saving and auto saving. In this game, you can manual save as many times as you want, but think of the manual saves as checkpoints. These checkpoints are different portions of the game that you would like to be at before you get to an auto save, if that makes sense. So if I'm going to go into a battle and I have a fear that I'm going to die, I'm going to do a checkpoint outside of it to give myself a decision of whether I wanted to go back to this point or not. Sometimes the auto saves will put you right at the point of the battle, and it just doesn't help that when you load the game, you're back at the beginning of the battle. And sometimes if you just want to make a bad decision, just see how it works, save, make the bad decision, and then revert back if you don't like the decision you made. For example, I ended up killing an entire nation.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
So I reverted back to my save like it never happened. All in all, this game is amazing and I'm hooked. Let your imagination get the best of you. Have fun with the game. And also, if you want to see me figure out what I want to do in my campaign, the links will be in the description below, or just subscribe and you'll see me here live. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.